it's Alissa checking in again with an update about the relaunch of Cheese 2.0. I am going by the name R&D Creamery right now, but that's actually not going to be the name. It's like a placeholder name. So I talked about this in last week's video. I'm actually looking for suggestions for what to name the cheese. So I'm going to be making a few references to last week's video here, but anyways, we're heading into week 6 of the relaunch, and I haven't been super busy on social media, but I think I'm doing some really important foundational things right now. And so I'm just going to talk about that because, I think a lot of times it might look like there's nothing going on because there's nothing going on social media, but actually a lot of times you can spend a lot of time on social media and there's not really anything going on in the background. So anyways, it's you got to do the foundational work. So last week I talked about setting up a biotech company to hold the intellectual property, and this week I'm also working on the health and wellness platform that I'm starting to go in concert with all of this. So I talked about in the intro video to the campaign about the wellness benefits being really the impetus behind the cheese, and that being really important motivationally for why I'm doing the cheese. And so it might seem a little confusing that I'm setting up this biotech company and I have this health and wellness platform, Asian Warrior Princess, which is, it's more of a health and wellness platform, focused on lifestyle aspects about, improving health and wellness. And I did just launch a video last night about the garden that I'm doing with my mom. Well, I've gotten a lot of questions about my mom because she has dementia, and I've been caring for her. So this is an aside, and it seems unrelated, but actually it's really important. And the reason is because I want to tell the story of PRL and why it ultimately ended up not being successful. And it wasn't because of the cheese or, our customer base, or, we were really pretty much chronically sold out up until we closed. So, we were really successful, but the reason why PRL ultimately wasn't successful is because in the beginning, when we set up the business, we basically financed the business and structured it as a small local business, and that wasn't really in alignment with what PRL ultimately became, because we were like a product business that actually had global potential, and we were kind of saddlebagged by the structure that we had committed ourselves to in the beginning, and we were never able to grow out of that. The only way to grow out of that limited structure was to close and to start a new business. So it actually created a really super painful situation for us, because we knew we had something, but we had kind of outgrown our business structure, and there was no way to get beyond that. So, it cost us a lot of money, and it was really a painful situation for us that had to happen. So I don't want to go through that again. I want to set it up the right way from the beginning, because obviously we don't want to repeat what went wrong. And I wouldn't even say it was a mistake, because I think PRL was actually a really successful endeavor, and I'm really proud of it. But I don't think we really comprehended the growth that was going to happen, and we weren't set up to handle it. And so this is why it's important to set things up in the right way in the beginning. So this is why it might seem like there's all this unrelated stuff, but there's one company for the technology holding the intellectual property. There's one company for the platform, and then there's going to be a different company for my like limited edition artisan cheese creations. And this is just so that the structure aligns with the purpose of the business. So there's one company for my heart, one company for my brain, and one company for the cheese. Moving forward, so I have been starting to ship some cheeses out. I've alluded to this in some other videos as well, but you know, shipping is super problematic, especially during the summertime. So really, it's not super viable for me to ship very far. I mean, shipping to Minnesota and Colorado and places close to where I am, it's more viable, but trying to ship to California or the East Coast right now is a little dicey, and it's also super expensive. So I probably won't be doing a lot of shipping until the summer is over, but I am working on that, and to kind of get past that, I'm doing collaborations with other businesses. So for example, I'm going to send a big batch of cheese to Minnesota this week, and I'm going to send it to a couple chefs and a couple different people that I'm going to do collaborations with. I'll be announcing that soon, but this is kind of to get past the shipping obstacle until summer's over. So that's going on. And then finally, I just want to just talk about the vision, and I've been leading up to this in previous videos. So if you want to follow the progression of how the business is unfolding, I am creating a playlist. I'm going to link it here. That's sort of like the weekly update video, so you can kind of follow the progression if you're interested in it. A lot of it talks about business, and I think people who are into business might be interested in these kinds of issues that you have to address. But the vision for R&D Creamery, and I'm just putting it out there that I am trying to find another name. I talked about this more explicitly in the week 5 video, but it's going to be like a limited edition artisan cheese that's super experimental, where I'm really going to try to push the envelope on what vegan cheese can be. And I believe that we're just only getting started. I mean, we've been making regular dairy cheese for 8,000 years, and look at all the different directions that we've been able to take that. And we're just kind of at the frontiers of that with plant-based cheese. And that's really where my heart is and where I'm interested in exploring. And so that's kind of what this limited edition creation is going to be. But I think that's not a financially viable model. So I think what I'm planning on doing is, you know, using this as sort of like a testing ground, and then the successes are going to be licensed out to other companies to produce on like a larger scale. So that's kind of the larger vision. I think in the beginning there's a lot that's going on putting all this in place. So this first year, I think it's going to be super stripped down and small and really limited to the people who are supporting this campaign. And so it'll probably grow beyond that in the future, but for right now, that's what it's going to be. So just to give you some context. But I just wanted to give an overall, you know, vision, because I think a lot of people are, you know, have questions and are just like, how are you gonna start a cheese company with $15,000? And the answer is that I'm not. Like, that's not really possible. But I'm trying to basically make the system work for me this time around instead of how it went the last time. I think I'm starting to get a better idea about how to make these business structures work for me instead of against me, because really we worked so hard and we were just swimming upstream against the grain, and a lot of energy got spent on that. And I want to really focus energy on the cheese and doing productive things. So that's kind of where I'm headed. It's very exciting. I'm going to be starting to send out more cheese this week, so hopefully more people will be able to experience the cheese. It's probably not going to be in the stores for quite some time, but I am going to try to make it available at least for the people who are supporting this campaign in the interim, because it's probably going to be, you know, a slow but sustainable evolution. I'm not gonna chase after the carrot anymore. I'm gonna do things in a sustainable, viable way. Lastly, I just want to post a link to the gardening video that I posted last night. Asian Warrior Princess is my wellness platform that I'm starting, and I did a video about the garden that I'm building for my mom. My mom has dementia, and the garden has been super healing and therapeutic for her. So I did a video about that, and I'm going to be starting to post videos more regularly about the garden, about recipes that I'm making from the garden, and just like overall health, wellness, lifestyle issues, and supporting other businesses that are aligned with this vision. So check that out, and I'll check back next week with another update.